YouTube, what's cracking? It's Matty B, and welcome back to the channel, and thank you all very much for watching, as always. Today, we got a little bit of a failed attempt from Unadilla qualifying from the 2024 Pro National over the weekend, and I'm sure some of you guys are probably a little bit confused on how that intro actually ended up ending my day. It didn't even really look like anything went wrong. It was just going straight up a hill. But yeah, a couple weeks ago at Muddy Creek, just at a local outlaw race, was just riding around by myself, trying to get a little seat time, make a little pocket change. I ended up dabbing my foot and just completely crunching my knee, twisting it back where it's upside down. You name it, it probably went that direction. And we've been in a pretty rough spot with it. Not going to lie to you guys. I didn't even think I was going to race until about Wednesday. We decided to go ahead and make the trip, put the YZF in the back of the bed of the truck and give it a try. Not sure of what the actual extent of the injury is yet. I haven't been able to get an MRI. I was going to try to get an x-ray at the Alpine Stars Medicrew just to get that first step of the process out of the way so then I could go see a specialist for an MRI. But I guess I showed up at the wrong time and they weren't quite ready for me yet. I showed up first thing in the morning, maybe a little bit early. So we're going to give it another try at Butts Creek and try to get it looked at. I had a doctor look at it at Loretta's for me, and they thought it felt like the ACL, which those are the three letters you never want to hear. But that's a huge bummer. I kind of screwed myself for these last three nationals. I've been putting in a lot of work riding, a lot of work in the gym. My guy Brandon Hartraff from Alpha Motocross Dynamics had made me a program, and I really felt like I was going to be as ready as I could be for these last three races. I was really feeling great on the bike. I'm just loving this new Yamaha 450. Haven't felt this comfortable in a long time, and all signs were pointing up. But unfortunately, that's sometimes it's just how it goes in motocross. Whenever you're feeling at your highest, the moto gods will strike you down in a heartbeat without choice. So yeah, came into this one about as behind the eight ball as you could. I hadn't even ridden for the last 2 weeks. I'd just been limping around and trying to get my knee loosened up. So my first riding on the bad knee is right now, what you guys are watching. And as you guys can also see, it's on one of the most rutted tracks I've ever seen. The second I got out there, I realized these conditions were going to be damn near a death sentence for me and my bad knee. But of course, we had no choice to at least try. And really, the track should have been underwater after the hurricane and all the flooding the couple days before. Noah actually had his ARC pulled up and parked on the premises. It was so wet. And come Saturday morning, this is all the muddy it was. The track was actually pretty good. I would almost venture to say it was Titty City, especially if you like ruts. But if you're Matty B, I actually struggle a little bit on these conditions, even whenever I'm healthy. So all these things put together made for an incredibly sketchy operation, but it's not like it's our first time risking it for the biscuit. Hell, in this situation, I don't even know what the biscuit would equate to, but damn it, we just wanted to be out there. Me and Top Chick wanted to head to Unadilla. We've been excited about this trip for a long time, and we didn't want to let a little destroyed knee ruin our fun. I'm not sure how much fun I would say we had while I was actually on the track. It was truthfully very painful to ride, and in these ruts and stuff, I was just incredibly tentative, and obviously couldn't ride to my potential at all, but it's just not my DNA to not at least go out there and try, even though maybe it should be sometimes. But yeah, that's the situation we're working with. No excuses. I'm the one who put myself in it. Nobody's fault but my own, but I feel like I've already yapped on for way too long. I'll let you guys, if you'd like to, continue watching the rest of this caution roll lap. If you don't want to watch this, if you want to get to where I actually start trying to go for fast lap attempts, then fast forward about another minute and a half. And whenever I use the words fast lap attempts, I'm using them very loosely in this situation. But I'll leave the rest of this slow lap in there for you guys that'd like to see the gnarliness and insanity of this track at slow speed while I'm just rolling around checking it out. But yeah, gonna let this play, get the audio going, and I really hope you guys enjoy it. Strap in. really don't even know why I revved with that guy. That lap was going horrible up to that point. He was just the guy that happened to be in the way whenever I finally finished it off. But first time going fast, felt rusty as could be. And my main problem I was having is my knee doesn't have the greatest range of motion right now. So even just bending my knee to get my ball of my foot on the foot peg hurt a lot. So if you guys can imagine, it wasn't a very comfortable ride out there. But life's not all sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes things aren't going to be ideal, and sometimes you just got to rub some dirt on it, suck it up, and try to get after it. Two more attempts in the books. One of them I actually managed to make it all the way through, and that next one you just saw, I dabbed my foot about 17 times in one corner. Luckily, it was a right and not a left, so at least I don't have to get a complete knee replacement just yet. But yeah, I was feeling super uncomfortable, really tight, and just all around not really feeling it out there, especially with the conditions. And like I said, I think I'd be struggling with these, even if I was completely healthy. But on top of all that, I was demoted to B practice, which rightfully so. I haven't done a round since round 3, but there's just a lot going on out there. I mean, in that lap that I actually managed to get all the way through. There was a guy sitting on the face of this jump, the sky shot. There was a guy that stalled it right in front of me. There's all kinds of stuff going on out there, but at the end of the day, there was a few guys that made it out of B practice. So if you're good enough, you'll make it happen, and I even managed to do that in Thunder Valley, but here at Dilla, I was clearly not in that category. In hindsight, I definitely shouldn't have aborted that lap. That wasn't much of a mistake at all, but unfortunately, with one of my legs kind of being out of commission, my arms were completely bricked up, could barely feel either of them, and yeah, I knew I was way off, so I didn't want to really continue to risk myself throughout the rest of the lap whenever I knew it wasn't really panning out anyway. That lap, I was actually on track to be at least 3 seconds faster by the time I got to where I made the mistake, but let's be real, it wouldn't have mattered. I was so far off the pace, and really, it was pretty expected. I mean, I didn't even jump all the jumps on the fast lap that I actually completed, so I knew we were going to be way back, and this was officially my worst qualifying result ever. We're 13th in the B practice, and remember me talking about being demoted to B? Well, clearly I deserved it. It was definitely painful riding with my knee being hurt, but if it's already torn, there's not much left to tear, no choice. Went back to the truck between practices and elevated my leg. Had tons of fans come through, which was very cool. I really appreciate everybody coming by, and just tried to regroup so we could try to put our best foot forward for this second practice and just be the best Matty B we could be. That's really all I could ask for. Well, y'all, that right there is all it took. I was all worried about jamming it up in one of these off-cambers or one of these corners, and it turns out it was just a straightaway that took me out. The ruts up that hill were just crazy deep. Even on my first lap when I was just looking at the track, I told myself to make sure I stay light through there, and I tried to do that, and even still, I bottomed out, drug my pegs through the ruts, and ripped my foot right off, and this was the conversation I had right after I pulled off with my guy Kunzi, who helped us out over the weekend.
I kinked it.
going up the hill and my peg's drunk and it ripped my foot off. It's not that bad, but it's just enough for me to like not have it in me. Luckily, I didn't do anything more to it as it's Monday right now and it's actually feeling better than it did on Saturday, but that was just enough to kind of scare me into submission for the rest of the day. That track was gnarly and that was just honestly kind of a failure operation in the making, but I had no choice to at least go out there and give it my best. And the lap that my foot got ripped off on was actually 2.5 seconds faster than my fast lap within the first 45 seconds of the lap. So, I mean, I definitely think I would have been mid-40s or so had I been able to complete it, but it's not really like that matters. We need top 36, and I know this knee wouldn't have been up for the battle of an LCQ and those top transfer spots on that track. So yeah, here we are all the way back on page 2 of qualifying. First time I've ever had to look for myself on page 2 of qualifying, but we were 59th overall. By far the worst qualifying I've ever had. I've never even qualified in the 50s before this, but we knew what we were getting into with this one, and honestly, for how I felt the few days before this, I'm just glad I was even able to get out there and ride at all. I mean, the week before Unadilla, I couldn't even really walk at all, so we've definitely been getting better, and I've already been in the gym this morning trying to get this thing a little stronger, loosen it up so I can be my best self for Budds Creek. I'm going to do absolutely everything I can in my power to make sure I've got a lot more in the tank for Budds. I don't want to show up and just ride around and be back in the 50s. We're going to at least give it the best shot we can, and qualifying is going to be a really tall order. I mean, the field's insane this year, and qualifying is really hard, even healthy. These guys are all going really fast, so it's going to be tough, but I'm pretty confident that my knee is going to be substantially better by this Saturday. We got 6 more days to try to get it better, so it's going to try to get as close to the best Matty B as we can get, and that's all we can ask for. So I appreciate you guys watching. Hope y'all enjoyed. Catch y'all at Budds Creek. No choice.